Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Okay, anyway, this is Jinda. Hi.
Hey, what's up, party people? Welcome back to the podcast or our YouTube channel. It's good to have you back with us.
That actually made me tear up.
Oh, was it that funny?
It was something.
Too
It was
cringe.
something.
It was something.
Sorry.
A singular tear. That's what it got.
Okay.
But yes, we are back, and it's good to be back. And I'm here with Dinda, Nick, and myself, and we're hosting this episode today. And also, I believe this will be our Christmas episode. So, Merry Christmas. I don't know if this is going to be on the day of, but close enough.
Hope you get the presents you won.
Yeah, make sure you thank God as well because it's his birthday. So yeah,
Allegedly.
allegedly. What do you mean?
because when you look into it, the 25th may not actually be his actual birthday.
Correct.
It's just a date that they set.
Oh, true.
Yeah, so you don't
Man-made
know.
construct. Hey.
Yeah, I know,
Reminder.
crazy, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah,
true.
so you never know.
Mm.
She's keeping us on our toes.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah. Anyways, the topic at hand that we'll be talking about right now is: did I just waste another year of my life?
Dun, dun, dun. It's crazy.
Did I say that too quickly? Did we need more suspense? It's too late, anyways.
It's too late. Yeah, what a topic.
Yeah.
Because I like the topic because I feel like I think about that every year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even
Same.
if it was a super good year, I still think about whether I wasted another year.
Yeah.
And I'm 1 year older, closer to 30, and it starts again.
We
you know?
don't. Like, I feel like
Do you-
every episode I have with Nick, he always reminds us about our age. And I'm like,
Whoa, I didn't say your age. I'm talking about mine, you know?
okay.
And now we are heading to critical mass.
Do you feel that it's more apparent nowadays that we think that, or is that something that you thought in high school? Because I never did.
No, I never
Or
did in
in
high
primary
school.
school.
Because
Yeah,
I
you
always
never
felt
think
like
about
we
that.
were just always going to live forever.
Life was life.
But then
you
when
know?
25 hit, that was when I really started
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
Actually, no, before 25. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, like, I don't know, 25 just feels like, oh, wow, we're over the curb of like 20 now.
It's-
So then the only thing to look forward for is like, oh God, it's 30.
Yeah, I feel like every next generation it starts earlier. You know what I mean? Like there's 15-year-old people talking about stocks and stuff. And I had a conversation with this kid at school not long ago, and he was talking about stocks, and I was like, "What? What are you doing?" And like, how does he even know more about this than I do? And I just had to pretend that I knew what he was talking about. I had no idea. But you know what I mean? Like it's just
Yeah.
like everyone thinks there's. I mean, obviously, like I don't know, people can't really enjoy it anymore, and we're all thinking the same thing.
But I feel like it's because if you don't, well, as a kid these days when, you know, you're so exposed to everything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you kind of like falling behind, right?
Mm.
And there's so many self-made millionaires now that are teens and things and all of this. So they keep watching that. So I think naturally as all our social media and all our technology progresses, you're going to get kids
Mm.
that are exposed to that
Yep.
do it. But then you
Mm.
also get parents that protect the kids and make sure that, you know, they be as much of like kids as they can.
Mm.
But at the same time, like we see or we know those kids will slowly fall behind in understanding like everything out there.
Yeah, it's a bit tough, hey.
Yeah, but even for us, I
Yeah.
mean, to be honest, for me, I feel like wow, because I try not think about that stuff so much because it like I don't know, I low key feel like I have
Gets
an addictive
anxious.
personality, right? Like
Yeah.
you get anxious, but
I
I get
get
so
anxious,
addicted
yeah.
to like I got to know. It hooks me,
Mm.
and then I'm just trapped because I'm always thinking about it, and I like for me, it just felt like it was super
Yeah.
unhealthy for me.
Yeah.
like
So I
thinking
kinda-
about like just over
Yeah, like how can I earn more money? How can I do
yeah.
this? How,
Yeah.
it's just I think as
cycle.
good as it is, I think for me it's like learning to be content with what I have.
Yeah,
And then
100%.
just go with the flow. Yes, be smart and learn and grow,
Mm.
but not like have that drive always to like I need to make more, I need to make more, I need to make more.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the common theme I see with a lot of people now, it's like I need to retire by like 40 latest.
Or less.
Or less, right? Because
Or
I don't want to be
less.
working for my life, I want to enjoy my life.
Mhm.
I think that's a cool goal, but at the same time, it can be very pressurizing. And people like us that, yeah, you kind of want that, but you don't want to be obsessed with that. You feel the pressure, and I feel like that's where the anxiety like comes in.
Mm.
But I think that ties it back to why I feel like nowadays I'm constantly thinking, did I just waste my year?
Mm.
Because if you look back from start of the year, do you feel like you've made much progress?
Well, did you have something to say, Dinda? She looked like
No,
she
it
was
was
holding
just
something
like a
back.
sidetrack of like, you know, one of the TV shows that intimidates me the most? is MasterChef Junior.
Why?
It's just like you see how young they are, and like they just like have another, like their cooking skills are on another level, and they're like making money afterwards. Like after they won, they just like
it's fake news, man. I'm just kidding.
We
I
all
don't
know the parents keep the money and go into their banks, you know. But yeah.
Anyway, sorry, sidetrack.
Yeah, before we get to that, I've been on my Fast and Furious binge because like I don't know what it is.
Family.
But yeah, true, family. But it's all like on Netflix at the moment.
Are you gonna rock up one day in a singlet like Don
Oh
Toretto?
gosh.
Don't make me do it.
Come back bold.
No, I'm growing my hair. You know how it is. But like I like what he says when Dom says, you know, I only live my life a quarter mile at a time, and I'm like, yo, that's actually facts. You know, like we shouldn't worry about all that stuff and just like live in the moments per se. You know.
Yeah.
So I really respect that saying, and he said it like 10,000 times. So
Yeah.
I think it's ingrained
Yeah,
and
he says
embedded in
that
me now.
and family.
And
So what
family.
movie
Dad
are
and
you
family.
on now?
Number 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It just gets less and less about racing and more like unrealistic stuff.
Yeah,
right?
it's more like Mission Impossible now.
Yeah.
Is the 8th one where they went to space?
Did they go to space?
They did.
Anyway.
I think that's maybe 10.
I never
10 or 9, I
watched
think.
the
You're
one that
almost
they
there.
went to
That-
space.
there's
You're almost
10?
there. Dude. No,
There's-
there's 11, bro.
What? That's crazy.
So
Anyways.
sad. No, the 11 was the one that like one of
The
the
part
main,
one?
Yeah, the main
Is it part
cast
one?
like passed away. Or
No,
passed.
No,
that
Paul
was
Walker passed,
7.
like, in, like,
that was
yeah.
7. I
That's
just
the-
watched it.
that's
I
the
can
see-
confirm.
That's the see you again.
Yeah,
That's the
that
see you
was
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Yeah.
that was 7. Anyways,
Yeah,
sorry
anyways.
to deviate. I just wanted to
Sidetrack.
say that quote because it's fire. Anyways, but yeah, answering next question. Dinda, would you like to go first?
What was the question again?
I didn't ask a question, did I?
No, you did
I
ask a
did.
Bro,
question.
you straight up was like, did you guys feel like you wasted another year of your life?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
Was that the question? I feel like it was another
more or
one.
less. That
Yeah,
is
but
the
well,
question.
like, do you feel like you did? You know, do you feel like you've made much progress from the start of this year to now?
Mm. To be honest, mid-year, I kind of felt that feeling of like, am I growing? Did I like just waste another year? But now that it's like December, and usually it's the most, like it's the month where like I become more reflective, even though I'm quite a reflective person. I wouldn't say I did, but it does look very different than
Yeah.
I would think it would be.
Do you guys remember what you wrote down that you would like to achieve this year or change this year? Like in the start? You know how they set goals and
Mm.
stuff?
yeah, right.
No? Do you remember?
Yeah, I guess I do. I mean, it's more like it wasn't so much a specific goal, but it was
Yeah.
kind of just a word that I got for the year, which was obedience and give back
Mm.
double.
Oh.
And obedience, yes. Give back double. I don't know. I'm still kind of like reflecting on that one.
What
Did
do you-
I do that?
What did it like mean in terms of like give back double?
Yeah, you know, like the servants with the money. And
No, it's in like what did it look like for you? Is it
Oh,
like
what did it look-
money wise or
no, it's just like putting more work in like youth ministry and putting more work into like and chaplaincy and those things that I knew that these seasons were coming to an end, but I didn't want to come like be half-assed
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it. You know,
yeah.
I wanted to give back double.
well,
So I
yeah.
hope so.
well, I felt like
Yeah.
you gave back double through this podcast stuff.
Oh, thanks,
Yeah.
bro.
It's Christmas, guys.
Plus one.
It's
Thank
good.
you.
It's good to give.
Okay, thank
You
you.
know?
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah. But yeah, what about you, Dinda? Anything?
For me, I somehow my word was flourish this year,
Ooh.
and I don't know how to. I still haven't really like had a moment to connect things, but I
Wait, do you say
personally-
flourish or florist? Like you like flowers?
Flourish. Nick, dang.
flourish. I said flourish.
No, I was low-key
Guys, I
confused.
know that English is my second language, so
It's also
excuse.
mine. Yeah, no, I was actually confused. I was like, you want to be a florist? Because I was like, that could have been a genuine goal. But yeah. Anyways, keep going.
Okay.
Sorry.
But I haven't really like had a time to connect those two. But what I realized this year is like I'm growing. Like there are a lot of things internally that I
Mm.
felt like growing.
Yeah. I mean, look, I can see that.
Thank you. But
Yeah.
She went to pump her tires by herself. But I mean, God sent a helper. God sent a helper, but she did it. You know, she wasn't calling me up or calling anyone up. She went out there like an independent woman, like she is, and she did it. So, you know,
oh
she's
my gosh, I'm gonna be a meme after this.
And
It's
then
like
No, look.
a
and then
very
Dinda drove to
simple
Wembley.
thing.
and now she likes driving.
She likes driving.
She
I feel
loves
like
it.
that's growth.
No,
Honestly, that is growth.
it just shows, you know, like there's a lot of like, yeah, you're right, and we're just saying as your friends, it's happening, man. And we could talk more, but
Thanks.
then it's too personal. We won't share that here.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, no, there are some external things because like it is quite a big year for me. I feel like I've graduated uni, which is a big thing, but because I think it's been a long time coming, so I don't really feel a huge thing. But I am still learning to not belittle all the wins and like the blessings that God gave me. But one of the things that I really felt is like I was in this kind of still in a solitude season, which is a very interesting place to be in. Like I don't feel lonely, but I feel like I'm in the boat kind of alone. I know that God is with me, but I don't have like really a certain person 100% that like understands what I'm going through like 100%. But one of the things that God has been kind of shaping me is like I first like I kind of let go a lot of like perfectionism that I could use. I mean, I still struggle with it sometimes, but like there were a lot of moments where I kind of like can let that go and just being not as reactive as I used to be. I think was something that I'm like, that's definitely God. Yeah. So I think because of certain reasons that I just think like, nah, it wasn't a waste of time. It felt very different than I thought it could be look like, but yeah. How about you, Nick?
Year one's
I
not
don't
on
know.
screen, but she can quote me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I didn't make goals for this year because I felt like I never keep them. I did. All right. Well, I don't remember, so there you go. You know,
You
clearly.
didn't keep them.
Yeah. But I just remember one of the things that I wanted to do this year was actually be more chill. Like not take things as personal or like try to fight everything and just let it happen.
Yep.
Like you know that meme of Leonardo DiCaprio walking through the streets and there's fires behind him and he's just smiling. Like that was me because I felt like I wanted to be that because when I saw fire in the past, I always tried to add more to the fire, or like fight it, right? And
Bless
always
you.
like it would overwhelm me when it becomes very personal. So I
Yep.
think for me, my goal this year was like I wanted to be just more chill, more laid back, you know, like care less. Okay, not care less, but let things affect me less so I don't get too crazy and angry and all this stuff. And I felt like I did that. But in terms of my year, I felt like a lot of things happened to me this year. But I also feel like I didn't really do anything this year. Like a lot of things changed. But in terms of where I felt like I would have personally wanted to do to make it feel like the year is not wasted, I felt like I didn't really do anything either. I felt like this year started slow. And the next thing you know, we're here. And I'm like, what happened?
What happened?
It did start slow.
Because someone was telling me, right, like, because I was watching this random video one night and it was like, time is relative to everybody. So for some people, it can be super slow. Some people can be really fast. Then I had this weird epiphany the other day. And I was like, is time going faster because I'm growing older? Because I cannot comprehend too much things, so my brain just switches off and I go autopilot like NPC mode. And because I'm older, routines are more thing, and then life just flies. Next thing you know, I'm going to be like 60.
Whoa.
You know, because everything's routine. Whereas when you're a kid,
Yeah.
there's so much stuff to do. You're learning all the time, so everything feels like very slow. Where you're going to be young, but I felt like the second I hit 20 was when I'm like, whoa, now I'm like close to 30. You know, like time just went so
Yeah.
much. So this year felt
I
like
think
it. I was like, wow, because we're not studying anymore. We're just working. We're serving like week after week, and then we're doing this podcast like every 2 weeks, every however we go. That is so routine now that life just passes, and then I'm here, and I'm like, wow, did I just waste another year completely?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how I kind of feel, and I was like, man, I look back and I was like, I wish I could have done more.
Yeah.
But I feel like this always comes up, right, at the end of the year because I think we always start the year knowing that, I can do so much. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you know you can. Well, I guess when life hits, it's like, then you know, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And I think that's why for me, like the feeling always comes back every year where I'm like, I wasted another year.
I think there are two things, right? Like the thought of like, we could do more. Like that's like the external stuff, like that you feel like, like I'm not doing as much, but internally you are doing a lot of stuff. You know, because it's just like when life happens, you're always like, like okay, I'm gonna do that later. I think like, when we start to like, maybe like after 25, it's always like, I can do that later. Like postponing, like what's the verb? like what?
Yeah,
Postponing.
No,
You were
that's
saying
another
it.
word.
I don't know.
Uh,
Procrastinating.
Procrastinating is like sorry.
I don't know.
Procrastinating.
I was just guessing there.
Yeah. Good guess.
It's like something that we it can become a habit for a lot of us, and like then we kind of like damn, like we actually didn't get to like do all this like list, like a lot of things that we have. But I don't know, like sometimes I just kind of like have a thought of like, yeah, but we try to like as long as we try our best.
I
And
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, because I
No.
was going to say, like, I think for me, it's what I've learned, I think a lot this year is because when we were surveying our previous youth group and stuff, and me in sports, right, I always thought I want to be the best at whatever I was doing, you know, and it's like if I'm not winning, I'm losing. And I always had that mentality. And I think that's why this year I felt like I want to be more just whatever. But I think the biggest thing that really changed my perspective is like kind of what we already said, where it's like, instead of being the best, I think I just focus more on doing my best
yeah.
and just like letting whatever happens, right? So then I think this year is probably where I'm like, yeah, I still feel like I wasted it, but I know that based on whatever happened and while we were doing whatever we were doing, we were all trying the best that we could have given at that time.
Yeah.
You know, and so then that thought of like, you know, trying to kind of push away like the thought of, oh, did I really waste another year out? Because I feel like, you know, like sometimes life gives you shit or poop, you know? No, but I mean, I thought it was the saying, but I don't know what
All
it is.
humans,
Yeah.
you know, all human
Yeah,
beings.
but like but that's what it is, right? Because you can plan a million things, but you don't really know what is going to happen literally tomorrow, you know? So, yeah, like, and I just felt that really helped me not feel like too sucky about it.
Yeah.
Let another year come and I did nothing.
I know you don't really remember all the goals you set out for yourself this year, but was there a lot to achieve? Was there a lot of things that you were, you know, putting on, like writing down, like, okay, I want to do this.
I think, oh my goodness, we did do it. I did do it with year one. She made me go to a cafe and we wrote it on iPads. Or did you write it on your iPad? Or I wrote it on your iPad?
It sounds like something you would have done.
something,
I've seen the TikTok one. I've
Yeah,
seen her
yeah.
with the vision board. And
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, I
She would have
remember
done
the
that with
vision
you,
board.
man.
Yeah,
100%.
I remember that
Yeah,
vision
yeah.
board post.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, I don't remember anything. But it was more like sections, right? So like things that Yewa and I would want to achieve as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of it was just going closer to God as a couple, I think. I'm just spitballing here. If you guys look at Yewa angry, then I guess I know I'm saying something wrong. Or like in ministry, like trying to just give more and just relax more and financially, I guess. You know, like the standard things in all the sections of your life.
Yeah.
I think financially that totally went out completely because I remember I was like, I want to save. I want to do more stuff and invest and all that. And then, well, as you guys know, a lot have happened this year now. I have a home.
Well, that's
you know,
good.
like all these things.
Not many
It's
people
good.
have a home.
Yeah, but it's good, but it's like that's just not what I planned for because you know so much happened.
And that's life, man.
Circumstance change and things happen, and then now I, have a home.
Quarter mile.
Yeah,
Quarter
and
mile.
yeah, and then pretty much
Yeah.
bank account gone. You know, so, but yeah,
Yeah.
but I think, I think I did have a lot, but I think for me personally, the ones that really stood out to me was just more internal goals this year,
Okay,
rather
yeah, for
than
sure.
external.
Yeah.
Do you think like for us and people listening in, to keep our goals simple, you know, sometimes we like to get a bit carried away and write all these things we want to do in this next coming year. Boom, 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 boom. Get in a relationship, get into this, get married, get engaged, get a child, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, I'm just throwing out there some churchy ones. But then like there's other things like, I don't know, rock climbing, you know, do Muay Thai, get fit, lose 10 kilos, you know, things like that, right? Which is all good goals and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But if we just like, you know, if we fill out a page, like great, but is that realistic? I don't know, because like if you're setting yourself up for fail in a sense, like, oh yeah, you don't end up going to the gym, blah, blah, blah. At the end of that year, how are you going to feel? Not very good. But you give yourself one goal and a nice like little one, like start walking, you know, just walk, you know, stand up more, things like that. That's already winning because you're already like adding to the little goal, like little bit to the bigger goal, right? Which is like, what reminds me of like, in this one of the scriptures, do not despise small beginnings, right? Which I like that one because it's really good. It's very encouraging to me personally when I start anything, you know. So, I mean, I'm just thinking like just from the dome randomly, like, what do you guys agree, disagree? keep it simple, or do you guys still? I mean, there's nothing wrong with writing a whole essay about what you want to achieve in the next coming year. That's fine. Like if there's 10,000 things you want to do, go ahead. But it's just like, I just feel like keep it simple, because I feel like out of all the years for me personally, like this has been the simplest year, and yet God has blessed me so much. I won't get into that. I'm not trying to flex on everyone, but it's been a good year for me,
Yeah.
and that's because I kept it
Has been a good
simple,
year for
It has
So
been a
Yeah.
good for Jar.
it has been.
You see the hair's grown.
That's perseverance. I look in the mirror sometimes, like I don't like what I see.
The man buns out.
Not quite yet. It's a little guy.
Yeah, you go.
You
'cause-
go.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll go then.
Okay.
I think for me, I do agree with the simple goals, because whenever you put goals that are so big, they're not really achievable. So when they're not achievable, you're not gonna, as much as you feel like you want to do it, you're not gonna do it. Okay, you also looking at me because I make really big goals that are not achievable. Then I get really depressed and I get very suki and then I cry about it. But
And you're
what I
blanky.
learned from that is simple goals are good, because, for example, I'm pretty sure anyone that's listening today or to this episode, right, it's gonna be like my New Year goal. I'm gonna read through the whole Bible, and I made that goal like every year for my whole life, and always failed. But it's because what I realized is that, we want to do this big thing, but then we can't even do the small things, right? Like I can't even spend 10 minutes praying or 10 minutes reading, 10 minutes like doing small things. So how can I expect myself to achieve this big goal? Because like if you open the Bible, it's like, oh my goodness, there is so much stuff. You just get so overwhelmed. So you make it through like maybe one book, 2 books, and then you're like, oh my goodness, this is a lot. But I feel like the small goals are good because you're like, hey, I just want to pray more. Naturally, this will add to the bigger goal that you can still write down, but your focus should be on the small things, like, and I think a good book, if you guys are looking for a book to read that I'm rereading again at the moment, is Atomic Habits.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
such a good book, right?
think
But he
everyone
talks
knows that
about
one. Yeah.
simple things that will, like, small changes that will change your life. Make like the steps that he has of like making it simple, making it attractive, like doing small things, and that is when your bigger goals, you will come to achieve it. Because you ask anyone, right? All those seminars of these rich people, they're like, "What's one thing you do?" And they will always come down to just the small habits, like every day,
Yeah,
small things, small goals, and then do those goals. Then the bigger goal comes.
exactly.
So
yeah.
I think that's why, like, I just want to say, like, I think I agree for you guys. What would really help and what really helped us, I guess, based on what we're all talking, it's like the small, simple goals are the ones that make the biggest like impacts.
Yeah, 100%,
And
yeah.
and you feel good, right? It's like a momentum thing. When you
Mm.
achieve one, you're like, I can rule the world, and you just keep going and going and going,
yep.
and then eventually, I don't know, you got a man bun. It's crazy.
No, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that can be also tricky is like when your goals are too specific. So they're not too big, but too specific. You know what I mean? That it's like, it's not really. I mean, at the end of the day, goals are like guidance, right? Like, but I think one of the things that I did different this year is like, I kind of like make my goals, like simpler, as in like, because I used to be like so detailed oriented, which is not a bad thing per se, but like when it comes to goals, I think this year I kind of see myself like pivoting throughout the year of like, okay, like spiritual growth, like let's say by Q2, I kind of see, okay, these are the things that I need to work on. Then I just focus on those things instead of like, I want to do I want to be patient, I want to be like just so much. And then it overwhelms me. So I kind of like, you know what? I just want to work on being less reactive and composed and calm, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I want to be in more intimate relationship with God. And yeah, I think having those goals just kind of and be more open also with whatever challenges that I face that year. So sometimes my goal can be like, you know what, I'm gonna go through this like challenge by like with God. And then it became kind of like a goal. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I
But-
think
yeah.
Like I think it
Yeah.
does, because I know one thing I was thinking about when we were talking, right, about this small goal stuff. I think what's good is that when you do that and you get these small wins, you learn to enjoy like your growth more. right? You enjoy the things that you go through this year. Like, even though, yeah, there were huge, like, sucky things, really sad moments, stuff, but you just appreciate, like, your journey more and your
Yeah.
season more.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is all we can really do, right?
Yeah.
Like we were chatting before we started filming. Like Yeo and I at the moment are reading like Ecclesiastes and stuff, and we're like one of the chapters just talk about like it's actually a gift from God about like your toil, your work.
Yeah.
Like that is actually the gift. You know, He didn't. The gift is not like the future and all these things because we have no control on that. The only
Yeah.
thing that we have control of is our everyday work and everything that we do. And when you learn to just get the small wins and achieve small things, you find joy in that. And then in return, I personally feel like you see God in that.
Yeah.
And then through those things, that the bigger things come, then you will actually enjoy that more rather than like, oh, this goal that I've hit, I finally got there.
Yeah.
But you're kind of like crawling to the goal because you're like, I did so much to get there.
Yeah.
By the time you get there, you're so burned out or tired that
Yeah.
you don't even enjoy it. So I
Yeah.
think, yeah, like adding to what you have said, like I think the small things really help just enjoying the ride,
Yeah.
the quarter mile.
Yeah, exactly. And it also keeps you in the game for longer as well.
Yeah.
You know, I just find that like you sprint straight away, you're gonna gas out, and you know, so it's like, yeah, I think now that we talk about it, like everything I felt like coming to this year has been all like little things, and like you said that you put it in such a good way, like how it just snowballs, like
Yeah.
a snowball effect. It's just the momentum, and then
Yeah.
or like makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
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 And so, yeah, but I guess like, you know, on the top of that, all it's like, you know, with this whole year, even if you may have felt like you kind of wasted it, was there any like lessons that you felt like you learned this year that you just didn't see coming or thought that you would be learning this year?
Oh yeah, nice. Good question. I'll go first. For me, I think the biggest thing I learned was being more expressive with how I feel about things. You know, like I thought I was a very sensitive guy from the beginning, from the get-go, but then what I didn't realize was that, no, actually I didn't really put forth how I felt really, you know? And so that kind of, you know, manifests in something negative, you know, when I don't really share what I say, what I feel in a way. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that I can think of, just
Just straight
off
up
the,
the dome. Yeah.
straight up from the dome.
It's still a pretty big thing though, you know, right? Because sometimes if you feel a lot, but you don't know how to interpret it or like manage it, it can be quite overwhelming. And then you just like, you get really anxious. You get very overwhelmed that it just hits hard.
Yeah, you think you know yourself well, and then you turn 28 and you still don't know who you are, really. I mean, look, it's not that I don't know who I am. I know who I am, but it's like you're still growing and learning more about yourself.
There's
and
some blind spots.
Exactly.
You know?
I'm sure you
That's
can
why
attest to that.
Yeah.
And also, I learned another thing. I feel. I don't want to admit this, but I do feel a little. I'm not that there's anything wrong with introvert people, okay? But I feel like I've become a lot more introverted this year.
I get what you mean.
You know,
yeah,
I don't know why. I don't know if that's age, but I'm very protective of my energy nowadays. And I know, I don't know what's going on. I used to be like all about people, but I still love people. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I still like hanging out with people, but like, I don't know. That's something that's changed for me that I didn't expect. So there you go.
I can relate to that a lot. So I feel like this year has been the most solitude season that I've ever ever had in years. And like the thing is, I don't know. I don't know if that's the age. I'm still kind of like denial. But yes, like protecting your like energy. I think that I had a lot of moments where like I just kind of like spend time with God. Like, and even though there were many moments that God was silent, to be honest, but I just like I don't know how to really like explain this, but just I kind of just practiced what it means to accept the word compared to like really want to understand everything. So even when like God was silent and like the word was like, okay, like I kind of just accepted and then kind of like practice what it is like to dwell in his presence, which I sometimes a struggle because I just feel like I need to do something. I need to do like I need just like I'm still struggling with like that like that truth that rest is holy sometimes. So I kind of like it's something that I kind of not expected, I think, this year.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
it's interesting because I think I feel the same. I know that I am an introvert, but I think in this year alone, I have went from introvert to introvert. Like man, and I think what I learned is that there is a lot of reasons why people become more closed off or become more just to themselves. And there's like many different reasons, right? Like, for all of us, we've been in ministry for so long. It's constant output, it's constant doing things for other people and da da da. It can get quite tiring. And especially sometimes, like, I think for me, the reason why for myself is like when I was doing reflection and things, or Yellow was just telling me off about what I don't see, my blind spot stuff. I think a lot of what I realized, the reason why I became more closed off and just excluded from like everyone else is because there was a lot of things in my past season, like hurts and like trauma, like all this stuff that I just didn't deal with. And I think because of that, I ended up like way more isolated myself. Not saying there's this, but there's just a lot of reasons,
Yeah.
right? For us, it can be like, honestly, we've been saying so long, but it's like disappointment after disappointment that boom, all of a sudden, like you just naturally, unconsciously just go like, almost like, what's the point? I have to save what I have, and then it can also come down to like a mindset thing, right? Like, oh, I'm growing older now. I don't have as much to give anymore. Because that's stuff that I thought about a
Yeah.
lot. But then I have to go like, I can't box myself in this and I have to deal. And I think in the last couple of months has been Yeon just telling me off, but it's helping me realize and heal about like how I can be better and things that I don't see. And that's why she's there, right? Like that's
Yeah.
why she's there to just put me in my place almost, and just in a good way, she's mad.
It's a partnership.
No, it's a partnership, right?
Bombastic
Because
side eye just now.
yeah, but it's because like I would not see it if it wasn't for her, or if she doesn't do it in the way that she did, I would never like know,
Yeah.
And I think that's why for me now it's like, yeah, I do feel like the same as you guys, like just trying to conserve my energy, trying to do things better and like not go crazy, but at the same time realizing and catching myself going like, okay, I can't box myself in this mindset like, oh, I can only spend enough energy here, and trying to heal and just push out more a little bit. Because like what you guys keep telling me, right? Like we're not that old.
Yeah.
Even though it's a mindset thing where I'm like, I feel like I'm ancient, But yeah.
That's on you, bro. Don't put that on me.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's on me, but I'm just saying in the context of like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think for me, the biggest lesson I just learned this year is just like, like if you don't deal with your baggage, it can really drag you down.
Yeah. Or bleed.
Like I think
Fire.
that's something, because you think that you like
Clipping that.
yeah, yeah. Because like if you put in a baggage, in my mind, right, it's like, okay, I packed it away. Yeah, it'll come with me, but it's like packed away and I can keep just getting more stuff and then just drag it along with me. I'll deal with it later. But
Yeah.
eventually, like
You'll
it
catch
just
up.
there's just too many bags that you can't carry them all.
Yeah.
And then you end up crashing. Then what happened to me is like I was just stuck in a spot, and then that's where the whole isolation stuff happened.
Yeah.
So I think for anyone, like for me, it's just like learning to just open up the bags one by one, not feeling like I have to deal with everything at once, and
Yeah.
then just slowly go there. I mean, honestly, I'm still at bag 1 right now, but at least it's bag 1.
Yeah.
know?
You're
But
working on it.
And so that was like a lesson that I felt like I really learned this year.
That's
yeah.
good, man.
But yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice, bro. That's cool.
then is it yours?
Did I? I feel like
You were the last one.
I
Yeah.
think you were the last
Oh.
one.
Yeah.
But if I can,
Was yours a
like,
similar thing to Jar?
um,
Because you said about the holy
I can't
rest
really-
and stuff like that.
no, for me, like one of the things that I started, like so my friend actually told me is like, what I really like practice is like, I need to be more kinder to ourselves. Because I think like back home, I was just like, go, go, go all the time. Like it was just a default system that I have for 6 years. And to be in Perth and to just like learn to slow down and learn to pace myself. And then I caught myself like, dang, I'm still actually caught up in that go, go, go mode. I need to like remind myself that I had that for like 6, 7, I don't know how many years. And it's okay to actually take time to unlearn it. Because I think sometimes, I don't know if it's an Asian thing, I'm not sure what. Like we are so hard on ourselves on like, why is it so hard to unlearn things? Or like, why is it so hard to like, like make habits, like bad habits go away. But that's something that I kind of like, like it's something that has been in me for like 6 years. So it's going to take time.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen overnight. And yeah, that's like for me encouraging.
That's good.
I think.
No, it's so true. Like I'm reminded again of like where we're at in life right now, and it's like we're still discovering more about ourselves.
Yeah.
But then we're also trying to unlearn things as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I actually quite like that. Like, it
yeah.
takes time to unlearn certain things because you always think, like, I got to get over it now.
Yeah.
But then it's,
It's like you said, though, one bag at a time.
pretty much.
Quarter
So-
mile.
Oh, man, Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but I think like
That's
that, you
good.
know, I think that's a pretty good note to kind of end this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like it was pretty good. Actually, it's
Yeah.
quite nice.
Yeah, very wholesome for Christmas.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I guess to sum it up, like, do you feel like you kind of wasted this year now? Like,
Honestly,
after
no. I mean, I can't say that I did. I
Mm.
think it was a good year for me.
That is good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like huge things happening. I mean, we did have Johnny Chang on the podcast.
Oh my god, it's crazy.
You know, that's God's
Hey, we
good.
want to make it past 1,000. You know, we were praying God help us,
Yeah.
and then now look at us.
I mean, look, like 2,500 is still like a small number, you know, but it's
But it's still something that we were working towards. You know?
exactly. And like, you know, and on that note, actually, I wanted to say, because we talked about making goals small and making things simple. We're not saying don't dream big, because we have big dreams. Like,
Yeah.
it'd be awesome if we could hit like 100K, 10K. And it's really not about having all these numbers and all that, but it's about just reaching people, because we are passionate about that. We're kind of like a mobile ministry, you know, like on social media. I mean, like, there's lots of them
Yeah.
out there, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I think that's just that's our dream, and we're just making little moves to get there, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
there
like
you go.
what that ad says, you know, small things make big things grow. You know?
No, it's from
Okay.
little things. Big things.
Yeah, I was trying to remember it. That's why I said else. I was like, if you're Australian, you would know. I don't know whether they used this ad outside of
That's the thumbnail. Ethan, that's the thumbnail.
All right.
But yeah, but thank you so much, guys, for listening, and like, I guess Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much for
Christmas.
all the support. I think for anyone that joined us in the last couple of months on Instagram and stuff, I hope you guys found the podcast and like just got something out of it. You know, at the end of the day, we're just a few youth leaders trying to
Human
just
beings. To be
reach out,
honest.
help, and people that just want to either spread God's word, but also just good vibes, you know?
Good vibes.
Staying
Yep.
fresh and just chilling, enjoying the journey, and hoping that you guys can kind of grow with us too.
That's it.
But yeah.
Awesome.
it.
All right. Stay fresh.
All right.
Stay fresh. Merry Christmas.
Bye.
See ya.